Today's video, we are in Key West, Florida, looking at Captain Tony's Saloon. If you've ever been to Key West, you've probably walked right past one of the strangest bars in America. From the outside, it looks like a laid-back watering hole, but inside there's a hanging tree, a tombstone on the floor, and bones said to be buried beneath your feet. This building dates back to the mid-1800s. It's been a bar, a cigar factory, a fish market, and according to local legend, even a morgue. Over the years, it's seen hurricanes, shipwreck survivors, and some of the wildest nights Key West has ever had. When Tony Terracino, better known as Captain Tony, bought the place in the 1960s, he leaned right into its eerie past. He filled it with oddities, stories, and ghostly souvenirs that helped turn the bar into local legend. Right under that old tree inside the bar, there's a real tombstone for Reba Sawyer. The story goes that Reba was married and cheating. Her husband found out about a lot of those affairs happening right there, or starting there. When she died, he dug up her tombstone from the cemetery and dragged it back here, saying, "This is where she wanted to be, so this is where she'll stay." When Captain Tony took over the building years later, he decided to leave the tombstone right there where it was, partly out of respect for the legend, and partly because he thought it fit the bard's wild, haunted history perfectly. Others say the grave marker actually belongs to a woman named Elvira, whose remains were found when the floor was torn up decades ago. Either way, the stories have stuck, and the tombstone still sits there today, just a few feet from the bar stools. During renovations at one point, workers reportedly discovered human bones under the floorboards, and yes, some of them are still here. Whether they're truly remains of an old burial site or a creepy display added later, no one's ever proven for sure, but the idea of drinking your beer over human bones, well, that's exactly the kind of thing Captain Tony would have loved. And in fact, one of the remains that they did dig up, the skeleton remains are hanging at the bar. And I can attest, I was there in person, and they do in fact look 100% real. Captain Tony's Saloon has become part bar, part museum, and part ghost story. According to local lore, the massive tree in the center once served as a hanging tree back when this was the town's morgue, with more than a dozen people meeting their end here. Whether those stories are true or not could just be colorful Key West folklore. They've helped make this one of the most talked about spots in Key West. So the next time you're in Key West, step inside Captain Tony's, have a drink, check out the tombstone, and decide for yourself what's real and what's just part of the legend. Because in this town, the ghosts and the stories tend to stick around. Alright guys, that wraps it up for Captain Tony's Saloon. I know it was a shorter video this time around, but we do have some more Key West videos coming shortly. So keep an eye out, and we'll see you soon.